Hey, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm Wood. In this series, I'm comparing two accounts that I started at the same time on the same day that I'm basically playing the same way with one major difference. One account has a monthly spending budget, the other one is free to play. It's day 20. Let's check our progress. Hey, thanks again for joining me today. Pretty exciting on the free-to-play versus budget here. Okay, so before I forget, we'll have a blue-green border around the free-to-play account, and then when I switch over to the budget account, no border. Just so that you know, if you're new here and you haven't watched any of the videos previously, hello, I'm Wood, and thanks for joining us. We're just comparing two accounts just to see what the difference in spending would be between a budget account and a free-to-play account. We all know what the whale accounts look like. You know, you get lots and lots and lots of chances at OP legendary champions and void legendary champions, and that's not to say you can't be lucky on a free-to-play account. You absolutely can, and you will. You'll have certain luck on a free-to-play. I just wanted to highlight kind of the differences between one that had a strict spending budget and an account that's free to play. So on day 20, we're collecting our epic book on both accounts, which will be great because we have clan versus clan coming up. On our early game accounts like this, clan versus clan, it actually is helpful. The rewards that you get, as long as you pass some of the milestones, but you can collect some of the rewards for clan versus clan because on these smaller clans are usually in a tier 1 or whatever, and they don't require a lot of points to start collecting some of those rewards. And so 2 weeks ago when we had our last clan versus clan, it was very helpful. I don't know what the personal rewards is going to look like for both of these accounts, or if we're even going to be able to do it, but I have been saving the epic books to be able to book Taragi. I don't think I'm going to be using legendary books on Adeline because I want to save books on her in case we get something else soon. The legendary books are just precious, and I want to make sure that we have some legendary books to book somebody that we really want, that's really going to help our progress. Not that she won't, she does. She's actually better than I thought she would be early game, but and I actually think she's a pretty good champion. She has some very useful skills. I can't see putting the number of books into her to make her useful. So we've got I'll just show you here on her skills. So she needs 4 there, 3 there, and 4 there. So yeah, she needs 11 books. I think that's pretty average for a legendary champion. This one is just a transfer of a random debuff to the target, and then a transfer back of a random buff from the target, and that's a pretty good chance. I mean, 75% is good once it's booked, but the 50-50 happens often enough. It's pretty useful. And then the restoring the max HP, it's a lot more useful later in the game when we have things like Sand Devil, you know, destroying our max HP, and also a little bit in Hydra. Hydra doesn't seem to be too big of an issue for destroyed max HP yet, except for that time they changed it, and then it got to be a real big issue. But then they changed it back, and so we're fine now on Hydra usually, but that can be used. If you have a squishy damage dealer on Hydra, for example, that destroyed max HP can make one-shotting them a lot easier. So I think that could be useful, but I just don't see using her in a Hydra battle other than that heal. You know, she does have the decreased speed and the decreased attack, but it's only on one target. Usually you want to slot somebody into Hydra that's more useful than that. So I'm not saying that she's trash or anything like that. I wouldn't say that, but I'm just not ready to commit to booking her. So we'll see what we get on legendaries as we play through. But yeah, things have been going pretty well on the free to play here. You can see that we have been still making some food. You can see the food champions down here. The problem I ran into where I'm stuck on the missions, and for some reason I just didn't see this coming. I had a set of missions that were all pre-filled already, that I had already completed, and I couldn't see that Fuse Justiciar or Justiciar. I don't know. Whenever I see something like that, I want to default to Spanish or something. Fuse Justiciar. When I didn't see that was coming up, and so I hadn't been prepared with the farmable rares to fuse him. And so last night when I saw this come up, I started farming rares for that champion. And if you don't know, the rares that you fuse for Justiciar are War Maiden, Spirit Host, Diabolist, and what's the fourth one? I can't remember. I have to go look. Eris, that's right. Okay. So I knew that. I just couldn't think of it. So and you can see I've only got one of those right now, and I had a War Maiden before, but I didn't want to use the copy that I had. So I had pulled all 4 of these, and I have fed them. I should have just kept one copy of each. I know it was really silly that I hadn't. I just didn't realize that for some reason, when I started my main account a long time ago, 3.5 years ago, for some reason I thought that mission was really pretty far down the road, and I didn't think I was even close to achieving that one. So I started, and I went through, and we are now to catch everybody up if you have been watching. This is really cool. Athel can now solo farm. And I haven't gone through and 3-starred all these yet. I should probably do that. But she can now solo farm 12-3, which is where we normally farm. And I've been farming 12-3. I don't know how much energy I've put in. Thousands probably of energy trying to farm to get a Diabolist. And she won't drop. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's taking so long. But now I'm starting to lose hope that maybe on this account I'll never have a Diabolist drop. But yeah, you can see with the lifesteal gear, she gets hit a few times, but she can farm 12-3 now solo, which is really, really helpful. And now my Athel on the budget account can do that easily also now, and I have her solo farming as well, so it's a lot more efficient. Okay, so Lord Shazar there, when he does that first, I don't know which skill of his that is, but it lays 2 bombs. And because she's strong affinity to him, she most of the time doesn't take both bombs. If she can take 1 bomb and survive, but a lot of times if she takes both bombs, she doesn't survive. But yeah, you can see we're able to farm that solo, which is great. It's a lot more efficient, and so I'll take you over to the budget account now. Okay, so we'll go through and we'll go through and we'll collect all of our stuff here on the budget account. But yeah, same thing happened. Budget account, I was a little bit ahead on the missions for the budget account, and I saw that Fuse Justiciar was in there, and I was like, well, now I've got to go farm, because I think I had kept 2 of the copies. I think I had a War Maiden and an Eris, so I needed to go get a Spirit Host and a Diabolist. And I hadn't been farming 12, stage 12 at all in campaign. We were able to get Justiciar fused. Wonder if did I put him in the vault? Yeah, so you can see Justiciar there. Put him in the vault. And so I was able to get a Spirit Host and a Diabolist on this account pretty quickly. I didn't have to run too much campaign to pick up a copy of both of those. And so I got my Justiciar fused 8-7 on budget on Valdemar Strait, and she can solo farm this now. She was having a little bit of trouble solo farming that one. When you first start out, this tends to be a more difficult stage to farm because of all of the force affinity enemy in it. So, but because all the starter champions are magic affinity, and so they're weak to them. But the Bad Alcazar, they changed him to void for some reason for campaign. I don't know why, but they did. And so, but it's been nice. It's been a lot more efficient, and I don't know if you noticed or not. I probably went by it too fast, but I'll show you in here. Yeah, if you've been keeping up with the series, you'll know that my Taragi was the first one that I wanted to 6-star, other than my starter. So we got Taragi 6-starred last night. The great thing about it was the advanced quests. Completing advanced quests helped us because we just collected our 5-star chicken right there. We collected it, and then I had 4 other 5-star chickens, so I was able to 6-star Taragi, and then I went ahead and did Taragi's masteries. It's 800 gems, and I just thought, I've got them, and I want to see, and I think it worked out pretty well because we are now 1-keying normal. So we were able to, with the next key after I did that, and I got War Master on Taragi, we were able to 1-key normal. So we're well over for one keying on normal now. And yeah, so easy. I'll just put a 1-key here on easy on the quick battle. But yeah, Taragi was doing more damage than anybody else just because of the War Master and his poisons. And once he's booked, he'll be even better. Yeah, see, look at the difference. You got him with 2.6 million damage, and Ethel, our level 60 with 2.3, and I don't even have War Master on her. I've got her in Helm Smasher, which I really debated on that one. I was kind of hoping we'd be able to replace Ethel with a better, more clan boss focused damage dealer, somebody, like a Kale. Like if I was able to pull a Kale. I just decided to do Ethel. I'd never played her before, and I thought if I do the same on both accounts, it's not going to affect the results of the test that we're doing. So I just went ahead and used Ethel as starter, even though I probably should have gone with Kale. But it's water under the bridge now, and it's great now. Taragi's really doing a lot more damage. The Taragi I have on this account is in regen gear. It's not good. It's good for 4-star regen gear, but it's still just 4-star regen gear. So we'll be looking to upgrade that as well. But that's why we're farming in Valdemar Strait, is to get more lifesteal. Let's go in and check Altar of Souls. The nice thing about Altar of Souls when you're starting out is that in the Soul Merchant here, you don't really have too many epics or legendaries to choose from. So you check the rares, and they're not very expensive. The essence isn't very expensive for the rares. So we did get a soul for Ethel on this one, right? Yeah, we got 1 star on Ethel, and I just put Phantom Touch on her. So, but yeah, it's going really well. But it's so frustrating on the free to play. Back on the free to play now. So frustrating on the free to play, farming this one stage over and over and over again, and just no Diabolist shows up, and I'm getting literally dozens of them. I was doing champion training yesterday on my main account, doing dozens of Diabolists dropping in campaign, and none of them will drop on this account for some reason. I have no idea why. In fact, I don't even know. Have we gotten one? I probably have. I probably did get one and then fed her. No. Yeah, so you can see no Diabolist yet. Has not shown up at all for us. So you can't blame me for feeding her, because I didn't. See? Right, there's the evidence right there. I did not feed Diabolus. I'm pretty sure I fed Spirit Host and other copies of War Maiden, but I didn't feed that one, and that's the one I'm having trouble getting. I mean, I haven't even tried to start getting the Spirit Host or the Eris yet. I'm pretty sure I've had Eris on this account. Anyway, it's beside the point. The account's performing really well. I'm pretty happy with progress. I think, we could be doing a lot better on Clan Boss, but I want to wait, get Taragi booked. I think Taragi being booked is going to really help a lot. I tried putting books into both Taragis 2 weeks ago when we had Clan versus Clan the last time. They didn't go into his A3 skill, which gives you the ally protection, and there's 2 cooldowns on that skill. Yeah, see, there's 2 cooldowns. Right now it's on a 5-turn cooldown, and that'll go down to 3, plus it'll make the shield a little bit beefier if we get 3 more books into here. So, yeah, they all, for some reason on both, all the books went into this skill first or the A1. So we have that provoke skill, but that doesn't help us at all with clan boss. So that's good. And then yeah, the poisons are, really helpful on him too. He's really good. And then once he's ascended, he's got the resistance in all battles by 40, which we're not using yet, but he's so good, and I'm glad I went with him. I heard later that there were a couple of others that I would have been tempted to go with, but I think Taragi is kind of the best one that's offered for clan boss, other than maybe Deacon. Deacon does a different job, but Deacon was the one I had settled on, and I tried to, but the promo code had expired, so that's why we've gone with Taragi. Check Altar of Souls here on the free to play. Yeah, nothing we can use. It's almost a relief sometimes when you see one in there and you can't afford it with the essence. it's kind of a bad moment when you look at those and you can't even buy them because you don't have enough essence, but they could really help you. So yeah, that's been really exciting. So yeah, clan versus clan coming up. So I'm excited about that, to be able to just make more progress and use some books, and that'll be really, really nice. In fact, I don't even remember how many epic books I have now at this point. I've got 6, so there is a chance we could get Taragi booked, and the 4 legendaries, we're just going to hold on to those, and the 11 rare books, I'm just going to hold on to those for right now too. We're just using the epics that we have and Ethel, and she's booked up, and I'm not really using the War Maiden. Maybe I will book her just because I could, but I don't know that I need to yet. Really not using her that often. It's nice to have a different affinity debuffer, but I'm not ready to build her yet, so probably wouldn't be a wise thing to do. I have built up a little more silver from last time. I got down to really low silver. I was trying to upgrade some artifacts again and got really low on silver. So let's go in and summon our 3 obligatory mystery shards like we do every day on both accounts. I don't show it all the time, but I like to check all the boxes when you get all the quests and the basic quests every day, and all of the. Well, there's another monk. I do have monk. I booked both monks on both accounts with copies of himself. So he actually has been a pretty good poisoner, but yeah, he falls off. So I think on the budget account, I'll be replacing him with Fenchi. I'm kind of excited about what Fenchi can do with ignoring defense against the clan boss, depending on how many poisons are on the boss. I think that's a cool skill. And I didn't really even know that was part of his kit before I pulled him on this account. I've pulled him many times on my main account, and I just have never really looked at him. I knew he was good for Fire Knight, but I kind of had that one taken care of, so I never really looked at him for that. But yeah, this skill here, Killer's Bile, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each poison debuff that's on the target. So that 10% for each poison, I mentioned this when I pulled him, speculating that you could put 10 poisons, you could fill up the whole debuff bar. You're not going to do that on clan boss, because obviously you want decreased defense, you want weaken, you want maybe poison sensitivity, you want some other things, but potentially, hypothetically, you could ignore 100% defense on a target if they had 10 poisons. So I'm kind of excited to see what that can do, and how many poisons are sort of reasonable to have on the boss at a time. I think 6 or 8 is probably the most that you'd want, so that you're not keeping yourself from putting the other debuffs on that you want, like the decreased defense and weaken, like I said. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what that skill can do. I've never tried it before. And then he's got this turn meter by 15% on 3 hits. So each hit being a 15% turn meter reduction. And I can imagine that being really good for Fire Knight. Plus he's got decreased speed too. So his kit is kind of built for Fire Knight, but and I guess the poisons become effectual on Fire Knight, even if you're not letting him take a turn, because he's ignoring defense based on those poisons that are on. As long as you don't fill the debuff bar all the way, I think that's probably a pretty good skill for Fire Knight as well. Especially if maybe you're using like a poison explosion team for waves and things like that, and he might come in as your turn meter reducer. So I'm kind of excited to build him on the budget account because I've never used him before, and we'll see what he can do. Also, I had to talk about Hellfreak for a little bit. Hellfreak got me through some stages of Faction Wars yesterday. I always put some gear on champions that I'm gonna feed. I kind of like this guy though. He's kind of cool. He's got this swap, HP swap with an enemy, and he would get down. I had him. He was soloing there at the end. I think he was the only one I had gear on. Yeah, and look, I haven't even leveled any of the gear up. So it was very early stages of Faction Wars. But he's level 40, and I just threw some gear on him just to see what he could do. The nice thing about Faction Wars, you don't lose anything. If you run it and you fail the stage, it doesn't really matter because you can just try again. You can level up some gear, and start again, and it doesn't hurt you at all. It doesn't take anything away. So that's one of the things I love about Faction Wars, and that's one of the things I wish they would kind of implement in some of the other parts of the game, maybe. I mean, Centranos is that way too. You've got your keys that you can use every day for that also, and you don't get penalized by energy or anything else. So I am appreciative of that. But yeah, he's got this health swap. So he would go down to almost no health, and then he'd swap with one of the enemy, and he's back, and then he would slowly work him down and take him out, and it's kind of a cool skill. 6 turn cooldown goes down to 4. I mean, but it came in really clutch and helped him win a stage, and so I was able to use my Faction Wars keys. It was kind of nice because he was the only, I think him and like another a common or something in Demon Spawn. So that was cool. Stealing all the buffs is kind of a cool skill too. I don't think there were any buffs in these Faction War stages. And then he's got a pretty reliable decreased defense. If you book this up, that's a pretty reliable decreased defense on his A1. So for a rare, I kind of like this guy. I think he's pretty good. I've always in the Demon Spawn, I had a video when I very first started. It was like my first weekend video, and I had a video where I described in each faction which rare I would keep. And in Demon Spawn, I picked Abyssal, and I still think Abyssal is probably the best rare in the Demon Spawn faction. But I like this guy. I think I might hold on to him. I've got him ready to be a 5-star chicken, but man, I think maybe I keep him. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Should I keep a Hellfreak or not? Let's go ahead and see if there's anything interesting in the market. Did I summon? I didn't even summon my 3 obligatory chards on this account yet. All right, let's take care of that. Then we'll get out of here. I hate when those menus come up underneath your pointer, and then you click, and just as that little menu thing is coming up. And Skinner's actually, he can be kind of good early game. I didn't need him because I had the Adeline. She steals a buff, sometimes on her A1. But I have in the past on other free-to-play accounts that I have built. I've built a few for referral accounts and stuff like that. And he actually removes 2 random buffs from the target on Skinner here. So he can be good in the magic potion keep where you have to steal a shield or something. And he's magic affinity, so he's not strong affinity, but he doesn't hurt you. And so I have actually built a Skinner up to a certain level and used as a 5-star chicken before, but I've been able to use him to get that quest out of the way of having to steal the magic keep boss's shield. So Skinner is an uncommon that can be used in a very niche situation. How many was that? I don't even know. I lose track of what I'm doing. I'm sorry. And then we got Saurus, who's another. He can be kind of the problem. I think Saurus is kind of fool's gold. He's got all AoEs, and you see sometimes content creators, a lot of times they'll put these really good gear on him and make him sufficient to farm campaign. And then I tried it, like I was early game and I saw it and I thought it was so cool. I thought it was such a great strategy. And then I tried it, and I couldn't get the gear, and I was really early game. It wasn't their fault. I'm not trying to blame anybody. But I tried it, and it just didn't work. It's hard to get his stats up to the point where they need to be so that he can actually clear all the waves in campaign farming. It's better just to build your starter champion as a campaign farmer. But Saurus, I think, is kind of fool's gold that way. He does have heal reduction too. So if you need heal reduction, he's one that can also do that. But I wouldn't put resources into him, even though he's pretty cheap to build. You need better gear to make him work. And so I think, I only did 2. Sorry, I lose track of what I'm doing. No, but it's been fun. It's been a fun day, and I'm just getting ready for Clan Boss now, or Clan Boss. I'm just getting ready for CVC now, and so it'll be probably a pretty chill afternoon, evening, and get up early in the morning. I'll do a bunch of CVC stuff on all 3 accounts, but mainly these 2, and we'll see how far we can get. But really excited to have Taragi at 6-star now and have his masteries. He's performing a lot better, and he'll even do better when we have the epic books in him. And that's mainly what's going on. If you have any questions about why I'm making some of the decisions I'm making, or how I'm playing both accounts, or some of the strategy behind this, or what I'm trying to prove, or anything like that, you can see I've got the raid card here on the budget account. So if you have any questions like that or anything, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll try and get to all of them. If you're stuck on anything on early game stuff, I can probably help, or maybe give an opinion about what you might be doing or running into. It's kind of hard to know. I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about who to 6-star next, and that's it's a question that comes up all the time, and I even have it on my main account sometimes. You have several champions that you'd like to build, and then you go, wait, okay, now who's going to help me the most? In what content am I struggling in, or what would I like to be performing better in? And when you're early game, that's everything. You're trying to do everything and get better everywhere. And so my advice is always versatility, but sometimes you want to focus in on, hey, I'm kind of performing okay, kind of even in some of these other areas, but maybe Spider or Fire Knight is really giving me trouble. So then you want to maybe focus on specializing a little bit, and build somebody that'll help you in one of those specific areas. So but like I said, if you have any comments or questions, if any criticisms that you might have about the way I'm playing both accounts, or anything, I'd be happy to hear them. I'm open to hearing any kind of constructive criticism that you may have. So we'll just keep making progress, and thank you for watching. I've been Wood, and I appreciate you.